You probably have seen, promoting this for years, the message of modesty traditionally is not very well received among young women. And I think for good reason, like partly it's because male modesty is never discussed. And so that makes them a little irritated. And then for years, thousands of years, women have kind of been blamed for the whole problem of lust. Well, it's your outfit, it's your body. I mean, you're the one causing all this ruckus. So that makes the defenses go up. And then you've got slogans like, like today's show, like modest is hottest. And it's like, we're missing I might as well wear like a Virginity Rocks t-shirt. Like, this is not what we're going for, people. But in this conversation of modesty, like, what is missing that's making young women defensive about it? Like, from parents, from educators, how do we need to update the language, so to speak, to make it really what it is? Like, why it's beautiful, why it's, as John Paul II said, the guardian of love. So what's missing from the modern message of modesty, and this whole misnomer of like modest being hottest? I understand the good intention behind that, but when a woman puts on a beautiful, elegant dress, she doesn't want to be told like, you're hot. I mean, that's something like some single loser with deficient in social skills says as a comment on some girl's Instagram page. It's like, that's not what we're going for here. What we're going for is like, you're pretty, you're beautiful. Why degrade it by trying to make the bar being hottest? And so all kinds of content there, but take that whatever direction you want. Like, what's missing and how we transmit this message of modesty?
Yeah. So there's so much there. Let's talk about that. Let me just briefly mention what you were saying about the comment of like, you're hot. It's such a flat comment. There's no depth to it. When someone would make a comment, like if a guy making a comment to a woman and says, you are elegant, stunning, it's more than looks. It is a compliment that compliments the whole of a woman. When you say you're hot, you have now dismantled the woman into a face value. Only what you see right here and now is hot. And if you wash your face or change your clothes, you might not be. But stunning, elegant, distinguished, like these are compliments that go beyond the word. They have depth, they have meaning, they have a wholeness to it. It also encompasses the whole woman. So a woman who is elegant is not just what she's wearing, it's how she's wearing it. It's her body posture, it's her words, it's her gestures. And that gets more at the heart of the beauty of the virtue of modesty than you're hot. Or, so I think that it's something where we have, as women, need to raise the bar of what we accept in terms of words to us, and redirecting that as much as we're able to within our own control. I think one of the things that's missing in this conversation about modesty is the fact that, one, let's not forget, this is a virtue. This is a virtue, people. This isn't a clothing line or a standard to dress, although all virtue applies to everything, but this is a true virtue underneath the cardinal virtue of temperance. So there's like a background here that we're missing in the conversation of who we are. I mean, take a look at Proverbs 31 when it talks about that woman. That woman has embodied the virtue of modesty. And it talks about her strength. It talks about her beauty, that she laughs right in the future. This is a whole woman who has taken that virtue of modesty. You want to take about, so I think we forget to teach women, to teach young girls their value and their worth and their beauty and their strength, that who we are is beautiful and it is different. And this idea sometimes that we don't talk about male modesty enough, that is not a good enough reason not to talk about female modesty or how modesty applies to the woman. And also, in that conversation, male and female, like, we're not equal. Like, we're equal in dignity. Absolutely. No one is saying that, but like, there's stark differences, and that's okay. So the way that modesty is going to be expressed in women will not be exactly the same with men. Very similar in some ways, but there's going to be some obvious differences just because you see what a woman, talking about just the body of a woman and the body of a man they're not equal. They're not the exact same, shape. So I'm kind of touching on a lot of different pieces here, but I think what we're missing from the conversation when we talk about modesty with women is the beauty and the freedom it gives in being a woman, who has this beautiful Marian genius about her. I know we like to talk about the feminine genius, and John Paul will talk about that all the time, but that is based off of Our Lady. It is a Marian genius. It is beautiful. It is pure, and there's something there of the strength of woman and what woman can do to help change her little world, or just around her, the power that we have and who we are and how we present ourselves to the world through all of our gifts, not just our body and how we dress. And that is an aspect of modesty, but modesty encompasses everything. It accompanies how I speak. It accompanies my interior thoughts. And there's modesty over, of course, what I wear, the actions of my body, actually how I move my body into this world and interact with other people. And so all of it matters. I think modesty with fashion gets attacked first because it's easy, and it's also because of what we see. So I understand it's the most visible representation. So if that's the case, wouldn't somebody who is striving for holiness, God willing, we hope that that's the case, would not also think that modesty and fashion should go together? There is a place for that. There's a place for holiness in your wardrobe, believe it or not. And what we wear sends a message. It communicates to the world a little bit of who we are. That's why when we see a priest or we see a nun walking down the street or wherever, we might not know them from Adam. We don't know their name or what their story is or their struggles or their wounds, but we know what they believe. We know who they praise. We know who they worship. That's huge just by their fashion. Now, something not as obvious as a religious, outfit, but we too can be a walking billboard for what we believe, or maybe what we don't believe. And so when we wear something that is so revealing, when a woman wears something that is very revealing of her body parts, it takes focus off of the whole of the woman and it places it on parts of the woman. And ladies, let me tell you something. I live my life being a professional model, using my body so that I could let the world look at my parts instead of looking at me. Since COVID, it's changed, but I now have been given the grace and the opportunity to speak on stages to people, and people praise God. I hope and pray they're listening to the message and the message of mercy now, and me as a whole person and not parts of me. And it's worth it 1,000 times over. We are more than our body parts. We are more than parts of a human person. We are a whole person and should be looked at and respected as such. There's only so much we can do. I can't control the minds of men, but what I can do is have dress myself with that strength and dignity. I can dress myself in a way that showcases that I'm a whole woman and I'm worthy to be listened to. I'm worthy of dignity and respect. That it's just fashion does so much. And that's the beauty of it. That's why I love it so much. It can tell people something about you without you saying anything.
Two words that came to mind as you were speaking was that modesty, in a sense, frames and contextualizes beauty. That instead of just like exposing it, it's revealing it, in a sense. That it's not saying that the body is not valuable, but there's a hierarchy of values, and the value of the person has to come above that value of the body. So it's not like a denigration of the sexual value. Oh no, sexual value not there, not there. It's saying, well, no, the sexual value is there and it's a good, but when you place that above the value of the human person, you invert the order of love. And so modesty is kind of an unspoken, I always say it's like an invitation to contemplation. It's an invitation to consider there's something greater here than the body parts. But when those things are shown first and foremost, I think what ends up happening is it ends up eclipsing, in a sense, the dignity of the person. And so modesty is sufficiently concealing the body so that it doesn't eclipse it. It's not a complete concealment. Like we can't even know the distinction between male and female, and that you women need to wear these shapeless plaid ankle-length jumpers, and I can't see ankles or I'll be cast into sin. But this balance of like, okay, how do we frame the beauty of the woman, with the proper frame? Instead of simply exposing it, you're revealing it. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that little clip, but if you want to see the whole episode where this came from, just click the link here. And in the meantime, we want to invite you to help us share this message, and there's a couple things you can do real quick. Number one, if you like or comment or share this video, YouTube will actually show it to more people. Also, Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. We release videos every single day, and you'll be notified as soon as those come out. If you want to help us also to spread this message, you can support us at patreon.com/Jason Evert. That helps us to create these videos and show them to the whole world. God bless.